You did everything right. You chose the brand the hospital sent home with you, the one the nurses set up in the room before you even left, the one with the trusted name you've seen for decades. And every single bottle might have been exposing your baby to arsenic, lead, cadmium, and a bacteria that can kill a newborn. I know because I trusted the same brand. For the first 2 months of my son's life, that sick feeling you might have right now, I had it too. Here's what nobody told you, and what the companies definitely didn't volunteer. A 2019 study tested the 25 best-selling infant formulas in the United States and found heavy metals in the majority of them. Over 65% tested positive for BPA, even the ones with BPA-free on the label. And one brand on this list wasn't just contaminated. The FDA investigated. 2 babies died. Today, I'm showing you exactly which 7 formulas to pull from your home, which 3 are actually safe, and the one name, still sitting on store shelves right now, that I still can't believe parents aren't warned about the moment they walk out of the hospital. Let's start with Gerber Good Start Gentle Pro. You know this one. Gerber is basically synonymous with the word baby. It's in every grocery store, every Target, every pharmacy. The label says HMO, human milk oligosaccharides, which sounds incredibly close to breast milk, right? That's the point. That's the marketing. What they don't tell you is that the HMO on this label is a synthetic, lab-manufactured compound called 2-FL. It does not come from breast milk. And when you flip the container and read the ingredient panel, I mean really read it, corn syrup solids appear before lactose. That's the primary carbohydrate source in a formula sold as gentle and science-backed. One serving delivers a sugar load comparable to a processed snack food. The Clean Label Project tested this formula in 2019 and scored it below average across heavy metal categories. This one was in my house. I bought it thinking I was doing something good. HMO on the label, trusted brand, recommended by our pediatrician's office. When I saw what was actually in it, my stomach dropped. If you have this in your pantry right now, I get it. I did too. You didn't know. Now you do. Avoid Gerber Good Start Gentle Pro. And what's coming next is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about buying organic. Earth's best organic infant formula. This is the one sold at Whole Foods. USDA Organic Seal, premium price. The name alone, Earth's Best, tells you exactly who this is marketed to. Health-conscious parents. Parents who read ingredient labels. Parents doing everything right. Here's what the label doesn't say. The DHA and ARA added to this formula, the brain development fats, are extracted using hexane. That's a petrochemical solvent. The CDC classifies hexane as a neurotoxin. It's used to chemically process the algae and fungus those fatty acids come from. And it gets worse. Organic farms in the United States are legally permitted to use biosolids, sewage sludge, as fertilizer, which means heavy metals concentrate in organic crops. The Clean Label Project found this out the hard way. Several organic formulas scored worse than conventional formulas on arsenic and cadmium levels. Earth's Best was among them. The organic label is doing a lot of emotional work here. It's creating a sense of safety that the actual product doesn't earn. Parents paying a premium for Earth's Best are not getting a safer formula. They're getting a hexane-processed DHA product grown on potentially contaminated soil, wrapped in branding that says, "Trust me." I'd skip this one. And the next one, this one made me angry because the medical system itself is handing it out. Enfamil infant formula. The #1 hospital-recommended formula in the United States. 84% of U.S. hospitals distribute Enfamil as their default. Nurses set it up before you even leave the room. Your pediatrician probably mentioned it by name. This is the formula the entire medical establishment has quietly endorsed. So when I tell you what's in it, understand, this isn't a fringe brand. This is the system. Enfamil Infant contains palm olein oil as the primary fat source. A peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Pediatric Gastroenterology found that palm oil in infant formula reduces calcium absorption by up to 53% compared to formulas without it. 53%. During the exact developmental window, 0 to 6 months, when bone mineralization matters most. Studies found measurably lower bone mineral content in palm oil-fed infants. It also contains corn syrup solids appearing before lactose in the carbohydrate blend. The hospital gave you this formula. The nurse handed it to you with a smile. That wasn't negligence on their part. This is just how deeply this product is embedded in the medical distribution system. But now you know what the hospital discharge packet didn't include. Calcium absorption cut in half. During your baby's most critical bone development window, leave it on the shelf. And now we're at the one I've been building toward, the one that kept me up at night, the worst one on this list. Similac Advance, Abbott Nutrition, a $40 billion healthcare company. Similac has been on the market since 1951. It is the second most hospital-recommended formula in the United States. The brand is everywhere. The trust is everywhere. And on February 17, 2022, the FDA issued a recall of Similac Advance, Alimentum, and Elecare after investigators found Chronobacter sakazaki inside Abbott's manufacturing plant in Sturgis, Michigan. Chronobacter sakazaki is a bacteria that causes bacterial meningitis and sepsis in newborns. The case fatality rate in neonates is between 40 and 80%. The FDA inspection report, a publicly archived government document, found 6 positive bacterial swabs inside the production facility. Standing water near production areas, cracks in equipment allowing bacterial ingress, and a whistleblower complaint filed months earlier that was not acted upon, not delayed, not investigated, not acted upon. 4 infants were hospitalized, 2 infants died. And then, because the recall pulled so much product off shelves, the country experienced a nationwide formula shortage that left millions of families unable to feed their newborns. 2 babies died. A nation panicked, and the company had documentation sitting in their facility for months before anyone was warned. The congressional hearing in May 2022 confirmed the FDA had failed to act on the whistleblower report. This isn't a contamination accident. This is a pattern of institutional failure at every level. Similac Advance. This one is a hard no. We're not done. There are still products to cover. But that was the worst of them. The absolute worst. Okay, now we're here. The worst one on this list. Similac Advance. Abbott Nutrition, a $40 billion healthcare company. Similac has been on store shelves since 1951. That's over 70 years of trust. It is the second most hospital-recommended formula in the United States. The nurses at the hospital probably had cans of it already stacked in the room when you arrived. Clean white packaging, professional branding. The kind of product that doesn't just feel safe, it feels medically endorsed. Because quietly, for decades, it has been. That's the setup. Now here's what they didn't tell you. On February 17, 2022, the FDA issued a recall of Similac Advance, Similac Alimentum, and Similac Elecare. The reason, Chronobacter sakazaki, was found inside Abbott's manufacturing plant in Sturgis, Michigan. Chronobacter sakazaki is a bacteria that causes bacterial meningitis and sepsis in newborns. The case fatality rate in neonates is between 40 and 80%. I want you to sit with that number. 4 infants were hospitalized, 2 infants died. Here's the part I still can't get past. The FDA's own inspection report, a public document on FDA.gov that anyone can pull up right now, found 6 positive Chronobacter swabs taken from inside the production facility, standing water near production areas, cracks in equipment that created pathways for bacterial contamination to keep entering. And then there's this. A whistleblower, a former Abbott employee, filed a formal complaint about conditions at that plant months before the recall, months before 2 babies died. That complaint was not delayed. It was not quietly investigated. It was not acted upon. The congressional hearing in May 2022 confirmed it on the record. The FDA had the warning. Abbott had the warning. The babies died anyway. And when the recall pulled that much product at once, millions of families who had never even touched Similac, couldn't find any formula to feed their newborns for weeks. A national shortage. Because one company failed to act and one agency failed to respond. Similac Advance. This is an absolute no. If this is helping you make safer choices for your baby, hit like and subscribe. I go through FDA inspection reports, congressional records, and independent lab studies so you don't have to spend your nights doing it yourself. The list is not over. There are still brands on store shelves right now you need to know about. Let's keep going. Enfamil Pro Sobi Soy Formula. This one gets recommended by pediatricians. That's the part that gets me. Your baby seems gassy, seems uncomfortable, and the doctor says, try soy. It sounds natural, plant-based, gentler, so you switch, and you think you've solved it. Here's what the recommendation left out. Soy contains isoflavones, genistein, and didzine, compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. Soy-fed infants receive 6 to 11 times higher isoflavone exposure than adults eating soy foods, adjusted for body weight. 6 to 11 times. During a developmental window when hormonal signaling is actively shaping their endocrine system. And that's not the only issue. Soy formulas contain 600 to 1,300 micrograms of aluminum per liter. Breast milk contains 30 to 50. That's a 20 to 40 times increase in aluminum exposure. The AAP's own policy, published in Pediatrics, reaffirmed in 2017, explicitly states soy formula is not recommended for healthy term infants to manage colic or cow's milk allergy. Not recommended. In their own words, if your pediatrician suggested this, they weren't being careless. This recommendation is everywhere. But the data behind it isn't what you'd hope. I'd leave this one on the shelf. Now this next one. This one made me angry in a different way. Because it doesn't just have problems. It uses your fear against you. Similac Total Comfort. Look at that name. Total Comfort. You're 3 weeks in, no sleep. Your baby is screaming and arching their back, and you're convinced something is wrong. You're standing in the formula aisle at 2 a.m., and you grab the one that says comfort. Of course you do. That's exactly what this product is designed for. The name is the marketing strategy. Here's what's inside. Corn syrup solids are the first and primary carbohydrate source on the ingredient label. Not lactose, corn syrup. At a standard serving, you're delivering the majority of carbohydrate energy from corn-derived syrup to a newborn. And the promise, the comfort, isn't backed by evidence. A peer-reviewed study in the Journal of Pediatric Gastroenterology and Nutrition found no meaningful superiority of comfort formulas over standard lactose-based formula for managing colic in healthy infants. The Clean Label Project gave Abbott's Total Comfort line a 1-star rating. That's the lowest tier they assign. Families are paying a premium, feeding their infant a high corn syrup product, chasing relief that the science doesn't support. This one's a no. Okay. Last one. Parents' Choice Infant Formula from Walmart. And I want to be careful here, because the parents buying this are often doing it because they have no other choice. It's half the price of name brands. It's WIC eligible in some states. And when your budget is tight, you find a way to feed your baby. I understand that. But here's what you need to know. Parents' Choice is manufactured by PBM Nutritionals, a contract manufacturer with a documented history. In 2011, PBM-produced store-brand formulas sold through major retailers were recalled after beetle larvae were found inside the product. Beetle larvae, in baby formula. Beyond that, the ingredient panel lists sucrose, table sugar, as an added sweetener. The European Union bans sucrose in infant formula outright. Our FDA does not. Added sugar in the first year of life is linked to sweet preference programming, early metabolic disruption, and increased cavity risk per AAP guidelines. And here's the thing that bothers me most. There is no independent Clean Label Project testing data on record for this product. No published contaminant verification. No public heavy metal results. You simply do not know what's in it. For a family under financial pressure, that uncertainty is a burden they shouldn't have to carry alone. There are better options, and we're going to get to them right now. Because you've done the hard part. You know what to avoid. Let me show you what to actually buy. Okay, that was a lot. I know it was. If you're angry right now, good, hold on to that. If you're sitting there feeling guilty, stop. Right now. You didn't know. Nobody told you. The hospital handed you that formula and smiled. You were doing exactly what a good parent does. You trusted the system. That's not a failure. That's just what we all did. But here's what changes right now. You know what most parents will never find out. And there are formulas, real options, actually available, that don't cut corners. Let me show you what to buy instead. Now here's one you can actually trust. Bobby. It's an American company, but they built their formula to meet European Union standards, the strictest infant formula regulations on the planet. Lactose only. No corn syrup, no sucrose, no palm oil. The DHA they use is algae derived through fermentation, not hexane extraction. They won the Clean Label Project's 5-star Purity Award. And here's what I actually respect. They publish their third-party contaminant test results directly on their website, not buried in a press release, right there for you to read. You can find Bobby at Target, Walgreens, CVS, Amazon, and their own site at bobby.com. Around $35 to $40 for a 14-ounce can. This one gets my full approval. High PP Organic Combiotic. This is the one European parents have trusted for decades. Made in Germany, under EU Directive 2006-141 EC, which sets heavy metal limits, bans corn syrup, bans sucrose, and requires lactose as the dominant carbohydrate. No hexane-extracted ingredients. No biosolids on German organic farmland. That's a legal standard, not a marketing claim. High PP also contains a naturally occurring probiotic strain they've been studying for over 20 years. The weight-to-casein ratio mirrors breast milk more closely than any U.S. domestic formula. You'll need to order from an authorized U.S. importer. Organics Best, Formuland, Love Organic Baby are reputable options. Stick to authorized importers to protect the cold chain. Around $40 to $50 per tin. Safe choice. Last one. And this is the one I want you to remember if budget is the thing holding you back. Kendamil Organic, made in the UK. Meets EU standards. But here's what makes it genuinely different from everything else on the safe list. It's built on whole milk. Not reconstituted skim milk with vegetable oils added back in. Whole milk. That means naturally occurring fat-soluble vitamins that survive the process. No palm oil. Non-hexane DHA from marine algae. No corn syrup. No sucrose. And since 2022, Kendamil has had official U.S. distribution through Target. No gray market import risk. No cold chain uncertainty. You walk in, you pick it up, you go home. Around $28 to $35 for a 28-ounce tin. The most affordable EU standard formula with real shelf availability in the US. Green light. This one is the one I'd hand to every parent on a budget who just watched this video, so here's your list. Avoid Gerber Good Start Gentle Pro, Earth's Best Organic, Enfamil Infant, Similac Advance, Enfamil Pro So-B, Similac Total Comfort, and Parent's Choice. Those are the ones you pull from your cart, from your pantry, from your shopping list, starting today. Choose Bobby, High PP, or Kendamil. And if budget is the deciding factor, Kendamil at Target is your answer. EU standard formula. Real shelf, real price. No excuses needed. You now know what most parents in this country will never find out, because the system that was supposed to tell them didn't. The hospital handed them a can of Similac and called it a day. You came here. You stayed. You watched every single product on this list. That's not nothing. That's the difference. Now think about the people in your life who haven't seen this yet. That friend who just gave birth last month. Your sister who's still pregnant. The mom from your playgroup who's been buying Earth's Best because she thinks organic means safe. They're in the formula aisle right now making the same choices we all made. Send them this video. Don't overthink it. Just send it. We protect our own. Next week, I'm going into infant cereals, specifically rice cereal. And what I found in the FDA's own internal testing data is something every parent needs to see before they introduce solids. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss it. You came here to protect your kid. Now you can